scenario is the Lina support with the Zeus mid and the offlane Spirit Breaker. Because if you're running Spirit Breaker as a 4 position, you're running 2 different melees, which is kind of awkward. Not that they would be in the same lane necessarily. Spirit Breaker would be roaming. They could always do like some sort of switch up where you have Spirit Breaker starting off in the off lane and then Zeus on the 4 position rotates the off lane while Spirit Breaker roam once he gets like level 2 or 3 or something like that.
It comes down to this the stand-in, I think. Because a lot of the time we see people put their stand-in into like the 1 role or the mid role because you know you don't need that 100% communication and you don't need to be in the head of your other friendly support. So
I know Slicks is a core player, so
yeah. But the fact that I still just picked up Zeus.
He's a player that's been around for a really long time, so it wouldn't surprise me if he's able to pull out a support. But we can see from his starting items anyway, he's going to be going a core position, Lina.
Yeah. Also the fact that Extinct picks up the Zeus, you pretty much know that he's going to be stacking, pulling, farming the jungle as efficiently as he can.
Yeah.
And then ADTR Earthshaker.
So I think this kind of comes back to the roaming Spirit Breaker once he hits level 2 or 3, and then Zeus goes to the offlane. I think that's what they would try and do here, but I guess it'll all be revealed in time. Jesse the Bash is going to be starting off here with his boots first Clockwork, trying to get some aggressive vision up before being spotted. He does lay down a very aggressive ward, doesn't block out the camp, but it does give him some pretty good vision of the support rotations. And of course, an offlane Clockwork, being able to utilize this pull right here means that he should be able to get the creep equilibrium pretty well on top lane. Whoa, what happened here? Spirit Breaker gets caught by the double slows and will be right-clicked down. First blood given away to the Skywrath Mage. That was an awkward play. Not entirely sure what he was up to, but I guess he got caught somewhere in here. Telekinesis, the slowdown and concussive shot, as well as the spin were enough to kill that tanky Spirit Breaker.
Yeah. Plenty of HP and armor, but when the majority of magic coming from Mineski there is, well, the majority of damage is magical. Still a little bit difficult to deal with. Doesn't matter how much armor you have. Slick's given 1 tango for this mid lane against the Viper.
That's all you get. 1 tango. I suppose he's going to have the Earthshaker probably helping him out in lanes, so if he needs another tango, it'll be available to him. The Zeus is just going to be solo. He's just going to be zoning out the Clockwork the whole entire time. Or at least trying to, anyway. Of course, the cog blocking means equilibrium is hard to control, and Clockwork will be able to get some experience.
They took out Clock's Observer Ward, actually.
They did indeed, yeah. So, good call.
It's even better, mate, for the fact that I don't have my own PC and monitor. I'm just looking over your shoulder. It's kind of nice.
I was saying good call for Invasion, not for you.
Thanks. You don't love me anymore.
Nope, I never did.
We're through.
Cataward in the offlane. Earthshaker just drops that one off for the Spirit Breaker. I guess they do note that there's a laning ward here, so they're going to try and take that one out in time. And ADTR continues to roam around. Viper's taking a good amount of damage here from Slicks and his harassment. Eventually that will stop because of the corrosive skin. It's going to start kicking into play. This should be a maxed out corrosive skin Viper. Presuming this lane matchup, you want to be able to have that 1-1-3 build.
I really like that. The fact that you know pretty much for certain that Viper's going to go for a 1-1 with a poison attack and nether toxin just to try and get as many last hits and harass as possible. You can go up on top of the ramp and trade hits really effectively, Zeus.
Good call by the Viper. Just chasing away that Earthshaker. Meanwhile, Jesse trying to steal these last hits. But Zeus does manage to get one of them. That bumps him up to level 2. Increased harassment now with that static field. The rotation around the middle lane. Maybe they can get this. They lead with a stun. Follow up, couple of right clicks. But do they have enough damage here? The corrosive skin has helped mitigate some of that magic damage.
Another Light Striker Ray?
Yeah, Light Striker Ray's coming up. Oh, but it misses. He's the last click, though. Oh, man, that was super close there. That last right click just barely did enough damage, but that comes down to the null tally and double branch build. Top lane, whoa, charge.
He gets the DD?
He could potentially, never mind. Can't fight him. The Earthshaker doesn't have the mana for it, so no can do there. Jesse continuing to get a lot from this offlane. He's already level 3 by 2.5 minutes in. Full experience, granted, plus a little extra out of the neutrals as well.
Oh, you're getting so many more lance hits than the Spirit Breaker is because you're basically 1v1 against the Spectre.
Yeah.
Zeus is stacking and pulling, Earthshaker is making sure Lina has a good time at mid, while Spirit Breaker up at top is against that full-on defensive tri-lane. Scarra sitting high up in the lane, harassing out with Arcane Bolt, while... Where's Rubik? Stacking?
Yeah, Rubik's been stacking the, looks like the hard camp and the medium camp possibly. Charge into middle lane. And they could actually get this one. Viper, I thought he was just going to back up fully, but he doesn't realize it. The Fisher, unfortunately, blocks out Slicks enough. Makes his straight line to the Viper a little bit crooked. And will not be in range. But yeah, the Rubik stacking up with the medium camp. Yeah. No golems. Lucky him.
Who's that for, though? You got to assume it's for the Juggernaut, right?
Yeah, I would presume so. But why would you stack up the medium camp for a Juggernaut?
I'm not sure. What's his item build so far? Has he gone for phase boots first, or... He's actually not got too much. I guess it's 3.5 minutes in, but he's gone for Quelling Blade, Basilius. Oh, he's got Ring of Aquila on the courier.
Yeah, that's why. So he goes for the aura first instead of upgraded boots. I'm not sure if that's... why do you think that's necessary for him to go the Ring of Aquila first in lane as opposed to boots?
Well, I was talking about this to Blitz, and the Ring of Aquila allows you to push the lane out pretty heavily, but it doesn't really come into effect until you have like Morbid Mask, and then you can dip back into the jungle. But you're expecting a Spirit Breaker to leave the lane very often. So with the Aquila, you can definitely push into the tier 1 tower, chip away at it, and the wraparound from the supports.
Yeah, I guess if you do push in the lane and the supports are ready to catch the Spirit Breaker from behind, this could be a free pickoff and some good amount of damage on that tier 1 tower. But we'll see. They do have the creep wave that's going to be colliding right underneath the tower here. Rotation's coming out. Whoa, the spin already blown there, Jay. Not sure what that was all about, but the Spirit Breaker will be able to charge out, it seems.
See ya.
So I don't know what that was all about. I think they had a good chance of killing the Spirit Breaker there. They catch him with the telekinesis when he charges away, and that's a free kill.
Yeah, Ancient Seal to silence them off as well. G gonna hold back that creep wave so they can do as much damage as they can to the tower. With the Catapult, they've got a pretty good chance. Glyph still available. Scarth Mage, not the greatest at holding creep waves back though.
Try not to trap yourself in the trees for whatever reason. I don't know what that dip over was. Bottom lane, going for Jesse, and they may actually be able to... Oh, nice TP out. Smart play. Didn't realize that the Clockwork had a TP, but he knew. Like, that's the only way they can actually kill him is just being able to slowly but surely get him down with the Zeus, but if he blows his lightning bolts right away, he could just instantly TP. There's not much else that they can really do about it. So... good setup there. ADTR may think twice next time about leading with the Fisher.
What's the skill build on the Zeus so far? Is it 2-1-1?
No, it's just 1-1-1.
Okay.
So, hasn't really made a differentiation in build just yet. And whether or not he's going to go for a little bit more of a farming build. They haven't stacked up the hard camp at all. Just kind of curious. Medium camp still just doubled. Rubik and Scarth Mage both being level 3 by this point in time. Juggernaut has his ultimate ready to go, so they can afford to leave him alone in lane, and he still has some potential solo kill power. And they'll smoke up for middle. Unfortunately for them, it seems that Arlena is not actually there. And even if they do manage to catch Lena, she's got an Invis rune. Oh, this is perfect. She pops the Invis rune and goes through middle lane, pops that smoke. She could actually be the one walking away with a kill here. The same time, rotation, top, it looks like they're going to try and go for the deny here. Leading with the Fisher. No, where's the Fisher? They could have actually stunned up Jay and then gotten the last hit on the tower, but doesn't quite get it. Lena's actually going to make a full rotation from the bottom jungle all the way up to the top lane. Still waiting on this duo to catch somebody. They see Extinct. Meanwhile, top lane, they actually do get the stun follow-up, Light Strike Array, and the ultimate. Laguna Blade will be able to finish him off. So, but Lena gets that one kill back over to middle lane, where we are going to have Extinct slowed down, telekinesis thrown into the Viper, and that's going to be a free kill. Nicely played. Almost got the return kill on the Rubik, though.
Oh, Spectre!
Yeah, Spectre can come in and throw out a dagger. Oh, she doesn't actually have enough. Not enough mana for a dagger. And if she went for the right clicks, that would have put her in danger. So she chooses not to try for it.
You could have haunted into the illusion behind the Rubik and then haunted back down to bot into the clockwork, but then, you know, there's the risk of getting caught in cogs, battery assault.
Yeah.
Whichever way you look at it, there's always some danger of the Spectre dropping low or definitely losing that laning momentum that she's got right now.
Right. Slick's taking the opportunity to farm up his stacks. He is going to be going for the phase boots build. So a heavier right click's coming out from him. How's their Spirit Breaker doing? Not quite level 6. Really needs that extra bit of nuking damage, just because it's what's going to be required to easily get the kill on the Viper. Right, the magic damage heavily mitigated by the corrosive skin, so you still need that extra little bump, and that's going to come out from that Nether Strike.
6 bombs are better than 2.
There's a Clockwork rushing Blade Mail here. Yeah, looks like he is. Another 1,000 gold. Could still transition into, you know, 4 staff or anything like that. Could even be a mech. Arcane's mech, seeing as the Viper's going for the Midas, they don't have that mech rush from him.
Yeah, it would just be very mana intensive for a hero like this. He would have to go Arcane Boots, I think, to go something like that.
Something we don't see too often from offlaners nowadays. Tidehunter, I think, is the only one really that we see Arcane's mech from. But it used to be a relatively common thing. Now it's down to your 1 or 2 role heroes going for that item.
This ward is such a nice ward because the Spirit Breaker is going to cross through this so many times. If he's bottom, ganking middle. If he's middle or top, ganking bottom. This ward is going to spot him out many of the times. Plus, it also watches him while he farms up the jungle.
There's actually a ward spot near that one where it blocks out the camp as well.
Yeah, you just have to do a little bit more to the left. You basically are on this step right here, the edge of that step.
But then obviously it makes it very obvious. Hang on a second, the camp's not respawning.
Yeah, they would much rather have the full 6-minute vision than blocking out a camp for 1 or 2 minutes.
Oh, Juggernaut leading last hit, 62 for 17, while Spectre and Viper are pretty even.
If they get this pick off on the Spectre, Juggernaut will jump even further ahead. And net worth cuts down the trees to make it a little bit easier. Oh, WTF, that was the wrong time to walk through there. He's going to be caught out. Looks like the nukes of the Skyreth Mage should be enough to finish him off. WTF?
Oh, yeah,
he's dead. Maybe dies to neutrals, but that's the best he can hope for. Meanwhile, we do have Ghost coming in, charges, but they already had the healing ward out. There's no real response. Slicks comes in, hits the stun. Laguna Blade doesn't actually have enough mana. They're just going to grind right-click down Jay, but it's not good enough. Meanwhile, the hookshot Cogs is locked in too, but Jesse the Vaj is going to be stuck here, blocked down by that Fissure, and will be taken down. Man, that healing ward is going to work. They have actually healed up so much. This easily would have been a terrible fight for Mineski. May still be, as they're going to lose their Rubik next. Fortunately, the Skyreth Mage manages to make it out. Double kill there for Slicks, but they do lose their Spectre in the process, and they did have a free farming Viper in the middle lane the whole entire time.
Yeah, I could see that being a decent trade for Invasion if they had one hero still farming away somewhere.
Right.
But because Mineski lose the Clockwork and the Rubik, not really important item progression heroes right now. You know, Clockwork would like to have a big item so he can jump in and go and solo kill people, but really, what's Viper going for after the Midas? Will he still go back into the mech? I think he's looking at Midas treads.
Maybe he's I feel like an early BKB is kind of necessary versus the Zeus and the Lina. If it was just one or the other, you were fine with just corrosive skin. But I think maybe he goes for like Aghanim's BKB would be my kind of idea for the build. Basically the heavy sustain build, right? Against all this burst damage. WTF is going to be grabbed here. They do have the Skyreth Mage, who is level 6, but he didn't drop the Mystic Flare. They're trying to get the kill without it, and maybe they'll miss it. Oh no, the ultimate didn't land, and WTF actually gets out. 50 HP, but he manages to get away, all because the greed of that Skyreth Mage choosing not to pop his ultimate like that.
Those stick charges made the difference, though.
Yeah.
Without the stick on Spectre, not an item you see commonly picked up, but when the aggression from Mineski comes out, you know that you need that burst of HP regen.
Against it.
That answers my question. I was about to ask, is Zeus level 6 yet? Of course he is. Extinct with a Thunder God's Wrath. Making things easy.
And they're now going to try and group up and push down this tier 1 tower. It was a good fight to be sure, but do they really have enough power to take a tier 1? Doesn't seem like it. I mean, they're not actually right-clicking the tower, so with only the Spectre hitting it, there's no way they take it fast enough. Charge up to the top lane. Oh, our Rubik may be in some serious trouble here. He's actually quite low. Spirit Breaker is going to catch him out before the telekinesis. If he gets a bash here, well, maybe not even required, actually. The urn is going to tick down, and it seems like it may be just enough. Wand, ooh, 9 HP.
9.
Ghost. He has enough for a TP out, so he is good no matter what, even if the Viper did catch him.
Jay on bot lane. How do they start things off, though?
I think it's the Fissure into the stun.
Oh.
Yeah, there it is. Fissure, Light Strike away. No, it missed! Oh, Jay now just TP's out. Going lol, 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 lol. Invasion miss up big time there. The stand-in slicks.
Well, it's not the first time that they've had a little bit of problems trying to get that Fissure to Light Strike array. The positioning of Slicks obviously has been a little bit off, but the Fissures from ADTR, it comes down to his positioning as well. You definitely do have to have that sort of crossfire mentality where the Earthshaker Fissure comes from one angle and the Lina comes from the other angle, so you're not walking you know, through or down the Fissure instead of walking in a straight line towards the enemy.
Well, Yield Scepter is now picked up, so except for the Juggernaut, she can now set herself up for some of these kills and won't be as reliant on the Earthshaker. They're going to go for Roshan. Oh, middle lane, oh, got to be careful there. He could easily be taken out from a long-range Laguna Blade if he's not careful. It doesn't look like Invasion are trying to guard Roshan at all. This is rather unusual solely because everyone knows Juggernaut, Troll, these heroes are able to practically solo up Roshan by the 10-minute mark. So pretty much the second and third set of wards need to be set up to look into the Roshan area as much as possible, and even then, yeah, Zeus ultimate goes off. They see the Roshan's happening, but they're going to be a bit too slow. They don't actually have the Spirit Breaker charging anyone. He was a bit too slow to pop the charge, and now Spectre pops the ultimate. Jay's getting quite low. This could be a terrible fight for Mineski, but still no jump in. The dagger goes out. They're going to lose their Skywrath mage. The nukes come out. Oh, jump on his Slicks. It's a good start. Cuckoo at the same time. He's going to be hit by the Spirit Breaker, but he bounced over the Fissure. He's going to be fine, I think. He gets away from Ghost, and Jay comes in with a Mask of Madness, easily cleans up the Spirit Breaker, and boy, that went from kind of precarious there for Mineski to an easy fight as they managed to take Roshan without interference. Invasion just, I think a large part of that comes down to the fact that our Spirit Breaker didn't charge fast enough. If he had charged from the vision given by the Zeus ultimate, I think they could have gotten out, gotten there in time to at least have a chance at intercepting Aegis.
Jay is still hunting the Zeus under the tier 1 tower. He's already TP'd out. Omni Slash would be nice there. He's going for a pretty standard, well, standard-ish build with the 1-1-1-2, going for full out stats. Yeah. We probably will see him transition now into more levels in crit and healing ward, just to increase their pushing power. Killing power as well, obviously, with the crits. That's a Yule stun for Lina. Slicks can now look to try and solo kill and not rely on the Earthshaker for that initial stun.
Do you agree with the Vanguard pickup on the Spectre? I mean, it's a strong item here, but is it worth the delay in your regular fighting items, whether that's Radiance or the Manta Diffusal build?
It's an odd item overall, because sure it gives you that naked HP, but the block isn't going to do too much for you. What you get is magic damage with Clockwork, Blade Fury magic, Scarf, Viper, Rubik. Who does the right-click attacks outside of Juggernaut? It's not as though, you know, there's Treants or Spiderlings or anything like that. The HP regen and raw flat HP is nice, but you get a similar effect from things like Urn, Drums, and they're a lot easier to build up into.
The mech is going to be the next item here for Cuckoo. We also have the Blade Mail complete for Jesse, so he'll have a lot better time dealing with both the Zeus and the Lina. As we see, pretty standard build for Jay, and that's pretty much it. The support's not picking up much just yet. Meanwhile, on the side of Invasion, double soul rings for our supports. We talked about the Yules. Spirit Breaker still really doesn't have an item, just that urn pickup, and kind of same goes for our carry Spectres. So Mineski are certainly taking a bit of a lead here in the early game. Both of their highest net worths. 7,900 on the Juggernaut, 7,300 on the Viper. Looking pretty good lead for this early game, especially over the Spectre, who's been so heavily shut down, I would say. I mean, she's gotten CS, but she hasn't actually been a part of the kills and even died once.
And if you look at the fighting here from Invasion, sure, they can have the Spectre farming off on the side lane and haunt in, but it comes down to this Lina. can she kill someone before the fight proper actually starts? You know, if you can kill Jay or even Jesse on the back lines, they're looking for it. Hookshot in though.
Oh, grab an ADTR. This is the perfect one. Easy kill. He can't really respond. No Fisher laid out. In fact, stolen Fisher. Now Jay's going to be able to get the Omni Slash. Never mind. Yule sceptered up. Slicks is going to be put in a precarious position, though. They could potentially dive him, but Mineski decides against it. Not wanting to perhaps throw away that Aegis just yet. They're going to go for the tier 2 tower push instead.
That's a 17-minute mom S&Y on the Juggernaut. And he can pretty much run towards the opponents unimpeded because of Aegis Immortal. Reclaimed in 2 minutes time, but for the next 2 minutes, tier 2 mid's going to fall. They'll probably try and push down onto tier 2 bot just to stop how much Spectre gets there.
Oh, the Fisher Slicks cleaned up, and now the rest of the team's going to be in some trouble. Now Jay is pulled back pretty far, but again, he's got that Aegis, not too much to fear. And they almost finish off the Zeus with that rocket flare, but not quite good enough. Yeah, not even sure why they even tried to run forward like that. I mean, obviously, the Lina wasn't expecting the stolen Fisher, but still.
Is that tier 3 actually going to fall?
I think it is, yeah. I mean, do you buy back on the Lina this early?
Well, outside of the Lina, what do they have to control them? Fisher, and then Thunder God's Wrath, and, you know, you're going to drop Mineski down to, you know, what, 2/3 of their HP on the Viper and Juggernaut, maybe down to half on the Rubik and Skyrath. But that's...
What's the Juggernaut going for?
BKB, it looks like.
He's actually going for BKB? I mean, that's really the only option he has when he gets another Ogre Club.
Yeah.
But do you think that's actually the right choice? Why not just go for, like, the later game Scotty? Right, that allows you to out-carry the Spectre still while giving you sustain.
I think it's very indicative of how Mineski in particular, as well as a lot of Southeast Asian and even now Chinese teams are playing. First 20 minutes is very important for you to really assert your dominance and push into tier 1, tier 2 towers. But Mineski, they like to end the game early. They don't want to rely on, you know, mid-game, late-game team fights where sometimes their team cohesion can let them down. They do very well on lanes. They outskill their opponents and they look for those pickoffs, but sometimes, you know, decision-making can be a little bit off, which is why 20 minutes in, BKB, let's go and finish the game.
Yeah, I guess so. It makes sense if he's going to start maxing out his healing ward, too. He's not even going for the Blade Dance. This is just full sustain build now. Yeah. With a BKB and then the maxed out healing ward. Like, you see some Juggernauts wait until, like, even after level 16 to start going for the healing ward, because at that point in time you usually have over, like, 2,500 HP. So at that point you could just be like, okay, well, we're getting a huge benefit out of this healing ward, time to level it up. But this one, not going for the critical first, going for the maxed out healing ward, and saving the damage for later. They do still have the good enough control to just wait on the next Roshan. I mean, it's only 20 minutes in. It's not like you're really afraid of, even if it does come up, the Radiance for WTF. That by itself, I don't think wins the fights for Invasion.
Take a look at Viper. Mech Ring of Health, is that actually going to be a pipe?
It could be. You have a lot of incentive when somebody's going to get a Radiance.
Well, the Zeus, Lina, yeah. There's plenty of magic damage output there that is possible for an Invasion. But again, that's something that we've seen in China occasionally. Picking up a pipe on your heroes like Bristleback and sometimes Viper. 20 minutes in, it's kind of like a pseudo death ball. You know, you're not going full on all out. If you have the chance, you go for it. If you don't, then you still have the possibility to fall back. Farm up the enemy jungle, I think is one of the biggest things, is when you're pushing into tier 2 towers, the enemy's choked out. You look at top lane, they've got to go for the trades.
So they take a tier 1 in exchange for this tier 2 in the bottom lane. They will not be able to TP it and defend it. That would be disastrous. Middle lane, though, we do have the two-man duo of the Clockwork and the Skyrath Mage. Now, unfortunately, the Clockwork doesn't really have an angle for the hook. Misses it, in fact. If he had landed it, they had the Rubik there, and maybe he would have caught up, but no such luck. Mineski will just take that tier 2. No further pushing with the rest of their supports in the middle lane like that.
How far is Spectre from Relic? She must have it by now?
Yeah, but no Radiance still. And may not have it by the time Mineski pushes forward. I would expect them to wait on Roshan, but the way you're talking about their playstyle, it almost seems like they would take a small little jaunt into the enemy base.
I've seen games from them where for, you know, a good 10-minute span, they have literally gone all in. and they have just charged in, dived under towers to get that. They're always looking for that one kill that allows them to turn the tides and end the game. They've been a lot more reserved this game than I've seen for them in the past, definitely. But I'm pretty sure that's because of the importance of this match.
Right. And perhaps their recent loss to Invasion in a similar best-of-3 environment makes them a little bit scared of dropping the advantage that they've clearly built for themselves. At 22 minutes in, it's over 10,000 gold lead and a 7,500 experience lead as well. Roshan up, well, that's quite favorable for Invasion. A very early Roshan like that. As you said, they want to be able to speed up the game and keep this ball rolling. They want a quick Roshan so they can go into the enemy base before, hopefully before the Radiance, but at the very least before a next big item for Invasion outside of that Radiance. I mean, you've got a Blink Dagger on Slicks, but nowhere near an Aghanim Scepter just yet. The supports don't really have anything. The offlaner doesn't have much. He does have a Midas, and that'll start kicking into play in about 10 minutes time, but before that, it's not that big of an increase of damage for the Spirit Breakers, so they could wait out the pipe Cuckoo if they give the rest of this middle wave and he farms up Roshan and maybe a neutral camp or two. That'll be pipe. It seems like Mineski are just going to be unstoppable once they have that. The raw amount of sustainability between the BKB, the pipe, the mech, that by itself is just to basically make the Zeus as well as the Radiance non-factors. You know, the amount of heal and magic damage that they're soaking up is going to be monstrous. And of course, the Clockwork drawing a lot of attention to himself. He's probably going to be one of the first ones bursting down, but if he has that Blade Mail active, he's going to return so much damage to someone like the Lina or one of the other big magic damage dealers. The Zeus ultimate goes off, sees that Roshan's happening, but Invasion, not much they can do about it. They're just waiting out the inevitable at this point.
Kind of interesting. On Rubik, what kind of skill build has he gone for? Because I was expecting a few more in null field, but 3 in telekinesis is something that we don't really see from support Rubiks anymore. You know, one or 2 in telekinesis just to give you that extra bit of team fight, but it was always a build for mid Rubik. Go for max telekinesis, then null field later.
Right.
But the AoE magic resist you get from that is ridiculous.
So the Radiance actually play defense here as the tier 3 tower's already down to 350 HP. Mineski really not wasting any time. Jay just pops the spin right away, chops down that tower, and now goes for another.
Let me in.
Blocked out by the Fisher a little bit, but finally does start laying out that damage onto the melee racks. Glyph goes down, but if Invasion want to be able to save their racks, they're going to have to fight here in the next couple of seconds. Jump in from Jesse, finds Slicks. That is the best possible scenario. The Yule Scepter goes out, but he's still going to be dying to Jay quite easily. Speed Heavy cleans him up. There goes the Clockwork at the same time. Oh, Earthshaker gets off a pretty good Echo Slam without a Blink Dagger, but WTF still cleaned up by the Omni Slash at the end. Slicks goes for the Light Strike Array, but no such luck. Another spin comes out from Jay. And they still have that Aegis too, easily taking the mid set of racks, and if they want, they could probably go for bottom right now with 2 heroes down on the Invasion side and only 1 for Mineski out, but seems they're just going to back up and farm. They've got some heavy amount of farm available to this bottom lane as well as top, so.
Are we looking at what, a 10,000 net worth lead right now for Mineski?
It's over 10,000 by now.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was 10,000 earlier when we were talking about the 22-minute mark. And now, after that fight, jumping down to about 17, 18,000 plus a 12,000 gold lead. We've got even the supports picking up big items. Owa's probably going to have his Aghanim Scepter before they push. So that can now give you a lot of potential. You steal Laguna Blade, pure damage. You steal Spirit Breaker's ultimate, that's some AoE. You even get Zeus or the Earthshaker ultimate, and those are not bad steals either, obviously. So this Aghanim's going to be pretty big, but then on top of that, just the wealth of spells he's going to be able to lay down with only a 2-second cooldown.
He'll end up doing more damage with Zeus ultimate than Zeus will himself.
Yeah, the whole entire Zeus array of damage is probably not going to be the same as the level 2 Aghanims upgraded.
Well, we even saw Zeus pop the Thunder God's Wrath while Mineski was taking Roshan. They lost like 100 HP each. It does very little overall. Giving last hits over to the Rubik there. 70
nice
gold away.
Very nice. And a bounty rune to finish it off.
Even TPing back to base. I've got to get it. Got to finish it off.
He needs some mana anyway, so. Might as well. Meanwhile, on the side of Invasion, they did have a buyback out from the Lina as well as the Spirit Breaker. So those heroes are not getting farm anytime soon. We're still operating on just Belt of Strength here on the Spirit Breaker. And I've been noticing this a lot. A lot of teams have actually been foregoing the early treads for a very long time. We saw the Clockwork actually do it for a while earlier.
He just hookshotted onto the Rubik.
Yes. Yes, he did.
Because why the hell not?
I think he was like, give me an earn charge. And Owa was like, no.
You come here.
And Jesse was like, give me an earn charge. And he hookshotted him.
Come here, Rubik, give me an earn charge. No, you come here. Fine. Be that way.
It's 27 minutes in. 7-11 is the score. The last throes of death here for Invasion. About to lose the second set of racks. Gotta find an opening somewhere, but Mineski are just not giving much. They've got the Viper sitting right in the middle, ready to go with the mech and pipe. ADTR. Biggest hope for him is to be able to get a good Echo Slam. He does have the Blink Dagger, gets it in, manages to lock down 3. The Spectre Ultimate now going off. They have a lot of heroes controlled, but it's still not enough as the sustain out from the mech as well as the pipe help these heroes live. Even Jesse lives through that huge amount of burst damage on the Spectre. That dispersion just not doing enough, and now the melee racks will end up falling as Cuckoo on the front lines just zoning the rest of the team back while Jay lays in the damage. He's still got that Aegis as well. Cuckoo in some trouble now, has the Manta to be able to get rid of some of this. The Healing Ward starts kicking into play. Not much they can do about that one in Invasion. Unless they really want to go to the bitter end, they can wait out for the top lane push since the tier 2 is still out, but there's no way to stop this. I mean, Mineski, they've shown in the last 2 fights, you can't kill us, even if you get a good initiation. There was 2 different good Echo Slams in the last fights. The first one without Blink Dagger, the second one with Blink Dagger. They were good Echo Slams, and they still...
Oh yeah. That fighter bot was as perfect as you can get. The cogs were the only real thing from Mineski that really deterred Invasion from going in. The charge through, caught out support in the back, great Echo Slam. But Lina and the Zeus were just sat there, unable to actually deal damage to anyone. Mineski backed up the heroes that needed to, as the Viper is caught out, the damage is just not enough.
They'll get him eventually, but boy, it costs them everything to be able to get that one pick off. And all Mineski have to do is just not get picked off anymore, and they can end this game. But I suppose that is the hope for Invasion, that Mineski keep on making mistakes and give them a way back into this series. WTF does have 2,600 gold on him, so the build towards the next item is coming up. Ooh, the fresh Shadow Blade at work here. The jump in on to Ghost. Yeah, it doesn't even need the Omni Slash. Jay, he's got the BKB, so don't think you can control him for too long. The Omni Slash bounces over, is going to be able to hit onto Extinct to manage to almost clean up WTF with the bash. He might just get it. Oh, the Rocket Flare comes in at the last second from the Clockwork to be able to get that kill. Now the Healing Ward laid out, and they're really just waiting on that tier 2 tower to fall. That's the only thing stopping them from winning this game straight up.
Does Spectre have... Like, how far away is she from buyback? Is it just not there at all?
She bought a Yasha, so it's just not there.
Oh, actually on cooldown as well.
Yeah.
Damn. So they've got 50 seconds now without the Spectre. They've got to defend 4 versus 5. Echo Slam is ready. Thunder God's Wrath and Laguna Blade.
It's this damnable tier 2 tower that's been up for a while. That is causing them juice. I mean, earlier on, they took that bottom set of racks. If the tier 2 wasn't there, they could have just gone up. What is this? And they, oh, nice hook shot, lock it in too, bye-bye. That is one hell of a combo with the Skywrath Mage picking up the double kill thanks to Jesse's excellent initiation. And if that wasn't just the cherry on top, Invasion are going to be kicked out of this game number 1. 9-19, 31 minutes in, a huge gold lead for Mineski, and Invasion perhaps just taking this bit of downtime to talk about what went wrong in this game 1 and how they can make the comeback in game 2 and 3.
Echo Slam in, but then what?
Yeah, it just doesn't do anything. I mean, these heroes, like, there's literally just no, like, oh god, are they going to get the, well, they actually won't going to get this guy with Mage, because he's so squishy, and he was caught in the side to the Spectre, but they will still clean up every single hero out of from Invasion. No matter how many of them buy back, there's just too much HP magical armor, heal, everything else out from Mineski. You can't actually kill any of these heroes besides really the Rubik and the Skyreth mage. So.
You know, about what went wrong, I don't think there was anything major actual game and mechanic-wise. Sure, they messed up a couple of Fissure into Light Strike arrays. Laguna Blade, sometimes the leader was misjudging her mana pool and didn't have it available. But that Spectre last pick was